Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this World Cup qualifying match between Denmark and Scotland. As we bring you this match this evening, which is being played in Copenhagen. Denmark are just on the way out, Scotland closely behind them, and with the team just coming out and getting ready for the national anthems, it's time for me to hand over to your match commentator, and it's over for the first half to JB. Good evening.
Good evening, Russ, and good evening to everybody who's tuned into our match tonight. The teams have just come out, as Russ said at the top of the show. I should point out that Scotland at this moment in time have got only 16 outfield players due to COVID-19 isolations and injuries. But I'll run you through the two sides in just a second or two as the Danish fans give their team a standing ovation, not just for the Christian Eriksen thing 2 months ago, but for their run to the semi-finals of the Euros. Anyway, before the action, let me bring you the two national anthems in just a second or two. And then after that, we'll bring you the whole first half live for you here on the Commentary Hub. And here we go with the Scottish national anthem to begin with. Yes, the good old Flower of Scotland. And it was sung with great gusto by the small pocket of Scottish supporters. Now it's the Danish national anthem, and just listen to the noise here around the Parken Stadium as this anthem is now being played. Listen to it. I've never known an atmosphere quite like that one, I tell you. That is absolutely superb. Right, let's look at the ties. Starting with Denmark, Kasper Schmeichel in goal. Anderson, Kjær, Mayo, Christensen, Thomas Delaney, Anderson, Damsgaard, Bass, Poulsen, and Pierre-Emile Emil Højbjerg as well. Holsten and Damsgaard will play up front alongside Poulsen as a three-man attack. The referee comes from Romania tonight. All the officials, in fact, come from Romania. Odivil Heitigan is the referee tonight. I hope I've got that pronounced as well. Marco Di Bello is the VAR official from Italy as well. We've got VAR as well. So Marco Di Bello is the VAR man, as well as the two captains there, Simon Kjær and Andy Robertson, the Liverpool man, conduct the coin toss, of course. Group F for this World Cup qualifiers. This is the Scotland side with Grant Hanley, the only man in the side to already have a yellow card from a previous group game. Seems a long time ago since then, doesn't it? Let's see how they'll line up then. Craig Gordon will start in goals for the Scots tonight. A back three of Hanley, Cooper and McKenna. Tierney, McGregor, McLean, Gilmore and Robertson in the midfield area. And Ryan Fraser is going to partner Shay Adams in a two-man attack. Ryan Fraser, more noted for his wing play with clubs like Bournemouth and Newcastle, his current one at the moment. As I said, only 16 first outfield players. There's two goalkeepers, Kelly and Clark for Scotland. And then there's Lyndon Dykes, Christie, who's just signed for Bournemouth, Henry, Gallagher, Ferguson and Turnbull, Rozelle, Rono, Nelson, Christensen, Larson, Lindstrom, Christensen, Norgard, Stringer, Wind and Drame are the Danish substitutes. So they've got more strength and depth than the Scots. But as I said, there's players like John McGinn who are missing due to COVID-19 self-isolations and a few injuries as well. So Steve Clark's options really limited, but it's just against second in the group. There's a 5-point gap between Denmark, who are in first place in the group, and Scotland in the second place at the moment. But a big night for Scottish football, even with a depleted squad. A nation expects us. Denmark in red and white, almost like Arsenal colours, get us away, attacking the goal away to my right. Scotland in that all-dark strip. And how passionately they sung the flower of Scotland at the start, before the start here, as Jay Adams gets the ball down the line, looking for the run of Tierney, but well policed there by Anderson, Joachim Anderson, and it comes off Tierney for an early Danish throw in the first 23 seconds. You're live. It's live alternate commentary as we look at Kasper Oudman, the coach of Denmark, or the manager. I like to be a bit old-fashioned. And there's Steve Clark. What a great job he's done. He's guided Scotland earlier this year to their first tournament in way over a quarter of a century. Didn't really get out the first phase, but they put up a brave fight. You may remember live on the commentary hub against England at Wembley in the summer. But came a cropper against the Czech Republic as well, unfortunately, and Croatia in games that they really could have won at Hampden Park. Here's Robertson now, the Scotland captain. So much success at club level. Here's Robertson again, getting the ball back, getting an early cross in there. Good positive start this from Scotland. Gilmore in possession on the far side. But he's lost out again. And now here come the Danes. Semi-finalists, of course, of the European Championships. Of course, they're at the scene of what was a very horrible incident as well. And an incident that we will never forget, that horrible Saturday night when they took on Finland in that group game where Christian Eriksen had that cardiac arrest. And it was one of the worst sights I've ever seen on a football field. But thankfully, Eriksen is obviously recovering okay. Whether he'll get back to football duty remains to be seen. But Denmark managed to go far. And a team with real confidence at the moment. As I said, very unlucky to go out the semi-finals to England 2 months ago. It was a super semi-final. I had the privilege of commentating on that for the TC Hub. And what a privilege it was to a dramatic semi-final. But this is going to be a different proposition. Of course, only the top team in any of the groups qualify. And if you finish second, it's a playoff. Because, of course, it's not like the European Championships qualifier where the top two are guaranteed a place in the finals, because you've got all your Australians and your South American teams and your North American teams as well, and African nations to qualify as well. So it's a tougher proposition than the European Championships is in terms of qualifying for the World Cup. Denmark qualified for the last one, of course, in Russia. Commentated on them against Peru, and they lived a pretty charmed life for most of that game before they scored a goal. In fact, I think they had a penalty given against them before half-time, if memory serves me right. And I remember doing that match as well, but they won by a goal to nil. It was a quite open game for 1-0, if memory serves me right. Anyway, we're live here on the TC Hub. We're also in partnership with Melon, which is a streaming app. And it's a very good streaming app. I found out what it was. I did a little bit of research on Google the other day and found out what it was. I never heard of it until it was announced that we'd be streaming partner with them. But anyway, I found out what it is. It's a nice app. You can stream nice stuff on it, nice videos and things like that. And of course, we're also live, and our broadcast partners are JB Sports, my own channel. And of course, we're also on JDAC Football, Commentary Hub 2, and Mike Harneman's brilliant Storm FM YouTube channel as well. Storm FM have the coverage as well. And we're also on Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch. As the ball is spread just behind Kenny McClay, just behind Che Adams, I should say. It was a good little purposeful run there from Tierney. Here's Anderson now on the ball for Sweden, and Simon Kjær, the strident number 4, who's won so many admirers. The way he's handled this Danish side as captain, certainly for those hard times when, with the Christian Eriksen incident, header won by Vass, but easy there for Craig Gordon. No David Marshall in the Scottish lineup, or in the squad even, because he can't even get a game where he's at the moment in for his club. Steve Clark, of course, as they'd be right, but Craig Gordon is a goalkeeper with vast experience, of course. Plays so many times for Scotland now over the last sort of 15 years. Steve Clark, though, knows the importance of this game tonight. It's a game they dare not lose, but it's a game you think they'd have to win with 5 minutes of the first half gone. World Cup qualifying Group F. Denmark the leaders now, Scotland second place now. 4 points between them. The Scottish win tonight would cut the gap to 1 point, and they've got favourable matches to come in the next few weeks as the shot comes in just over the top there from Josef Poulsen, just to the right, just to the left, sorry, of the penalty area. And Denmark just starting to come into it. Their first time right-footed shot, but going well over the top of the crossbar for a goal kick. Of course, this is the first of hopefully some very good qualification games over the next week here on the TC Hub. Don't forget our Twitter handle. It's at Commentary Live. It's at Commentary Live 1. Commentary Live 1 is our Twitter handle, and Russ Burden, our host, his Twitter handle, if you want to get in touch with him, is at Media Journal, and mine is a nice easy one at Stutzy83. If you want to follow us on Twitter, of course, we'll always try and keep in touch with all you guys, the public, and of course we'll put some messages on screen for you as well. So plenty to keep going, and of course, let me remind you of as Denmark have possession, we'll just break up because they have the ball here with Damsgaard. Ball played in, but that's well covered by Andy Robertson with the captain's armband. He did really well. Just remind you of the TC Hub Facebook address. It's all the W's. Facebook.com/the Commentary Hub. Easy to remember. Ball lifted in there. Hanley just making a bit of a mess of it, and then with his first header, may have been a bit behind him, but he headed it up and under, so to speak, and managed to cushion the ball back to goalkeeper Craig Gordon. It was a chip ball in there. Hanley made a bit of a mess of the first one, but then used his strength really well there. Before he just sticking down his neck a little bit. 7 gone. Denmark 0, Scotland 0 for a Wednesday night international football on the TC Hub. Ball knocked away there by Anderson there for Denmark down the right-hand channel. Olsen couldn't keep it in play. And Scott McKenna trying to marshal the troops here. It's a throw to be taken by Arsenal's Kieran Tierney. A good little bit of chest control there by Liam Cooper, of course, of Leeds United. And there's a Danish player got down there, and I believe it's Josef Poulsen. Going down there. Now, I don't want to tempt fate. Oh, he's actually clattered into Scott McKenna. Yeah, it's gone into Scott McKenna's face. I did resist. I tried to resist saying it looked innocuous. I didn't see the incident initially. I've just seen it on a replay. They do have VAR, and the last week I think it was purely accidental. But if the referees and the officials see that dimly, then I fear Scott McKenna could be in a little bit of trouble. But I don't think the referee's going to take any further action. I think he's just going to give a drop ball, an uncontested drop ball to Scotland, who should actually give the ball back. Yeah, I think it's just accidental collision. I don't think McKenna knew much about it. Poulsen certainly came off the worst. It's got to be said. Long ball not forward. Headed away there by Andersen for Denmark, the European Championship semi-finalists. Header won again by Vass. Andersen now at right back, knocks the ball forward, but it comes out again. Vass takes possession, still on the right-hand side, but it's still inside the Danes' own half at the moment, and they're not making any real attempt to get out of there. But it's still early days yet. 9 minutes, gone. And again, Andersen factored his captain, Simon Kjær, who should really get a statue for what he has done for Danish football in the last 3 or 4 months. How he's handled himself superbly, of course, over the Christian Eriksen incident and sad incident of Christian Eriksen, and of course the leadership to the semi-finals of the Euros. Best they've done in a tournament since '92 as the cross comes in from the left-hand side. And it bisects everybody there, including Vass. It was Damsgaard's cross, number 14. Just cut inside Billy Gilmore there, the Norwich City loanee from Chelsea, which is his parent club, of course. But the Danish fans in good voice. I could see 1 or 2 beers being drunk. They are allowed to drink beers in Denmark at football stadiums. Their supporters are more, shall we say, less. It's nice to see that the beers are out. It's a throwback if you're an Englishman watching England cricket with the beer being drunk in the stands. Anyway, here comes Denmark again. They've got him around the back. It's a corner. And it was a good little run there from Maffey. It was a good little run there, but I think he ran out of pitch. He tried to take on Robertson. He beat Robertson for pace there. Good bit of skill. And then Billy Gilmore came back at him. And I think the ball ran away from him a little bit there. So 10 minutes gone. It was a goal kick back to Scotland. They've taken short along the deck. And now a long ball looking towards the left-hand side. It was looking towards Tierney. Denmark win it back. They're in red and white. Scotland all in that all dark blue shirt. So both teams in traditional colours. If you've just joined us, there hasn't really been a clear-cut opportunity. Just a one-half chance for Josef Poulsen in the 3rd minute for Denmark. Apart from that, nothing else to write home about at the moment. But it's a great atmosphere around this stadium here. Of course, the scene of one of Arsenal's most famous triumphs in 1994, the European Cup Winners' Cup final. Alan Smith scoring the winning goal that night. In dramatic style. David Seaman made some truly remarkable, inhuman saves in that final. They were playing a very good Parma side full of world-class players. Asprilla, Brolin, people like that who could cut teams apart, but they just couldn't find a way past that stubborn Arsenal defence that night, and they won the Cup Winners' Cup, which sadly is no longer winners. As the ball is played over to the far side again, it's Maffey again. Oh, good football now. Denmark are closing in. Chance for the number 11 to shoot, and it was Olsen's shot. Deflected away. Vass now has it. Back to Andersen. Andersen looks for Vass on this right-hand side. Andersen has to go back to Simon Kjær. Kjær just looks up, chips the ball forward, looking towards Delaney, Thomas Delaney. I'll get my pronunciations. I might get my teeth in at some point here, but still 0-0. And of course, we've got the latest scores from all the other groups tonight on our little ticker across the bottom of your screen. And here is Maffey again on the far side. Still 0-0 if you've just joined us. Højbjerg, good crossing there by Højbjerg, and a goal! And Vass has scored at the far post. It's not a good start for Scotland, I'm afraid. It was Hoybier's long cross from the left-hand side. And Daniel Vass came in at the far post and headed it across Craig Gordon and into the left-hand corner. It's a terrible start for Scotland. It's a terrific one for the group leaders. It's Denmark none, Scotland nil. Højbjerg got the ball halfway inside his own half. Definitely onside was fast as the ball was played. McKenna was playing him onside as the ball was played. Yes, McKenna was definitely playing him onside. It's a cool header. It was all made by a wonderful cross by Pierre-Emile Højbjerg of Tottenham Hotspur. And Vass gets in there to score the opening goal of this Group F World Cup qualifying, and not the start that Steve Clarke would have wanted at all. Daniel Vass, the goal scorer. Good goal. First goal in the campaign. Of course, they've only played a couple of games. First goal of the campaign. It's his third game. Didn't score his previous two qualifying games. Now Denmark are really going ahead of steam here. And there's chances here for another one. Oh, it could be a second one here. And there is a second one. Oh my goodness me. It's going to fall apart. It's 2-0. The ball was spread forward. 2 goals in a minute. It's all falling apart at the seam. Maffei has got in there. Meppy has got in there to make it 2. Kasper Schmeichel, a fist of triumph from him at the other end. And Steve Clarke can't believe it. And Scotland, who made a very sort of bright start, have been rocked by 2 goals in 90 seconds. They just haven't got to grips with this Danish attack at all. It was a terrific run, first up by Olsen from the right-hand side. He cut in field. Then the ball was chipped forward and into Maffei's path, who just stabs it wide of Craig Gordon and into the right-hand corner. Played a 1-2, in fact, with Damsgaard. And good touch there. Flag stayed down, and Scotland have made a disastrous start to the proceedings here. 2-0 to the Danes. And I fear everybody at home that this is going to be a long old evening for Scotland here in Copenhagen tonight. I have to say the finish was absolutely sumptuous. It was a great finish. But the Scottish defence again, and Mealy has scored 2 goals already in this qualifying campaign. So Mealy has scored. That's his correct pronunciation, I'm told. But here's Olsen now, right-hand side, and the Danes are going for a number one here. And they're looking every. Oh, they could have had a third again. Mealy coming in there again. And he hit it right-footed, just to the left of the D. And he hit it high to the stand, but Scotland are all over the place. They're so ragged, it's unbelievable. I'm not sure Steve Clarke's idea to put a back 3 in was not the gamble I would have took as Scottish manager. But Scotland are all over the place. They could have easily there in a space of 3 minutes conceded 3 goals. The floodgates, I dread to say, are opening for Denmark. And Scotland really need to get their A game together, because they need to try and keep it at 2-0 and try somehow to get back into this game. It's looking a long way back for Scotland now, I'm afraid, here in Copenhagen. But they need to try and stay with it as Fraser tries to go forward, but he's muscled out a bit now. McGregor wins possession. Scotland just need to have a bit of ball possession here. Liam Cooper of Leeds United played against Burnley on Sunday, you may remember. Could have easily been out this game if Ashley Barnes' challenge had been a little bit more fierce, but as fierce as it was, it should have arguably been a red card. Kenny McLean has possession. Now Cooper, still inside the Scottish half. They just need a bit of possession just to clear their heads. They've been rocked by 2 knockout blows in 2 minutes from the Danish players, and they do look a good side, the Danes. And this is the first goal. Rank defending really by Tierney, and then the second one, Damsgaard played it over. Cooper played everybody on side, and the ball nestling sweetly into the right-hand corner of the Scottish net. And, well, Scotland, any chance of automatic qualification is probably falling by the wayside at the moment. But if I could offer some solace to Scottish fans all around here who may be listening to us, and we welcome you to the broadcast, by the way. Keep your comments clean, by the way. If I could offer solace to them, there's still there's only 18, nearly 19 minutes been played. So there's still time for Scotland to just get themselves back into this. They don't want to be conceding a third goal. If they do that, then it could be curtains. Here's McGregor now, coming forward. They just need to get a bit of bite on the ball, and if they can do that, and maybe create a chance for Fraser and Adams up front, then they've got every chance. But they've got to make sure. It's a depleted Scottish side, we know. Here's Billy Gilmore running forward. He's run about 20 yards. Oh, and he almost got it through there to Callum McGregor. He was snuffed out. And here's Poulsen on the break for the Danes, but Scotland have pulled about 4 or 5 of them back. And it was well intercepted by Che Adams, of all people, there, coming back on the halfway line. Cooper gets it forward. Back to Cooper again. From Billy Gilmore. And how Billy Gilmore needs to start playing now. A lot's expected of him, considering he had a terrific game, you may remember, against England at Wembley, where he ran the midfield show for the Scots superbly well. Free kick to Scotland. Bit of an untidy foul there by Poulsen. In fact, the referee wasn't happy there. He felt that the free kick was taken far too quickly there, the Romanian referee. And on we go again. Gilmore has it. And he finds number 14 here, McKenna. Tierney. That was a risky pass, but he found McGregor no problem at all. They just need a foothold in this game. Andy Robertson really needs to get his troops together and get them on the move again. They've had good possession, just haven't done much with it so far. Scotland trailing 2-0 if you just joined us. 2 quick fire goals from Vass with a header at the right hand post into the left corner, and then a 1-2 which ended up being Millier to score the second one. 2 goals in 2 minutes have really rocked the Scots, but then starting now to put some possession together. They've got a throw in off Anderson on the near side, almost in line with the 18-yard box of Denmark, who lead by 2-0. Tierney with the throw in for the Scots. They need to score the next goal if they're to get back into this game. Gilmore tries to flick the ball back, and he just about succeeds. Kenny McLean has possession. Now Hanley inside the centre circle. Gets away from Damsgaard. Ball out to Robertson on the far side. Scotland having possession, but Denmark have practically brought all 11 men behind the ball here back into their own half, which is forcing Scotland to make unnecessary mistakes. Here goes Scott McKenna. McKenna now darting towards the edge of the area. Has to go to the right. He frees Ryan Fraser, who loses possession. And the Newcastle man has lost it, but gets back to his enormous credit to stop Anderson going further forward. Good tenacious play from Fraser. Knew he lost the ball, and he saw Anderson boundlessly running untracked for a few seconds down that right-hand flank and put in a meaty little challenge, but it was a fair one. Halfway through the first half, 22.5 minutes. Denmark 2, Scotland 0 is the current score at the moment if you've just joined us on TC Hub in association with our broadcast partners, JB Sports, JDAT Football, Storm FM and Commentary Hub 2. We're also live on Periscope, Twitter and Twitch, as well as the main Commentary Hub channel. You're listening to Denmark against Scotland in the World Cup qualifiers Group F. And Denmark, who went into this game with 9 points so far in the group from 3 previous games. Well, they lead Scotland by a goal to 0 at the moment. As the ball is hooked forward, well dealt with there by Tierney, but again, Vass has found Olsen. Olsen now making a good burst. That's a good cross by him. Comes towards the far side. IBA now takes possession. Feeds Melee. Struggling to pronounce him here, but IBA is an easy one to pronounce. Melee now gets the ball. And again, IBA looking for runners. And Pierre-Emile Højbjerg goes for the shot. Goes over the top. It was a right-footed effort. No chance there for Casper Yeoman's side to go forward again and try and get that third goal. This is the second goal. Beautifully taken there by Mayfo. And a couple of beautiful looking Danish supporters there. I wouldn't mind saying hello to them one day. Denmark have had 6 attempts. Scotland have had 0. Denmark have been the better side, I think, out of the two so far. I think anybody who's right-minded would honestly see that, or fair-minded, I should say, would certainly see that from that point of view. But Scotland have just not been on it at the moment, but they've got a chance now just to build some pressure. Scott McKenna in possession, has to turn away from a cul-de-sac. In goes McGregor. And McGregor again, nice little knock there. And Kenny McLean has to get the ball back to Grant Hanley. Kenny McLean again has it still 10 yards from halfway inside his own half. Scotland getting up to halfway at least. Here's Scott McKenna. Here's Billy Gilmore now taking possession just inside the Danish half, but it's back in the Scottish half now. But Scotland still have possession with Kenny McLean now. Grant Hanley, they're building the play over to the right hand side. Robertson in possession. Robertson in there towards Callum McGregor. Some lovely passes, but not really going anywhere fast. At the moment, it's a mystery that even Taggart himself could not solve how Scotland have conceded 2 goals in quick succession and find themselves struggling here in Copenhagen. 2 goals down. It's been a chase in the evening for Scotland, and we've only been at it for 26 minutes. Haven't mustered 1 attempt yet on the Danish goal. It's hard sometimes when your squad's depleted by illness or isolation, COVID isolation, or injuries, I suppose. John McGinn, one of their playmakers, is out for this game. He's back with the other 2, incidentally. He's just one of the absentees. Here's Olsen now, right-hand side. Cross comes off a defender. It will be a Danish corner. I'll tell you one thing. The atmosphere of the Parken Stadium is absolutely amazing. The fans do not stop. This is how good the Danish supporters are with their side. They never stop singing. They never stop chanting. They never stop clapping. The noise is just boundless. Damsgaard with the corner right-hand side. He's putting his hand up now. Wiseman on the far side wants... Just saying to Damsgaard, just hang on a second while the referee just sorts out a little bit of jostling and pushing. Scotland have got to be wary now, even from set plays. Even the Danes also carry a threat on set plays. The third one now would be fatal for Scotland's chances here of any points tonight. Damsgaard, right-footed, sends it in there. It's an outswinger towards the edge of the penalty area. And again, a chance for number 3. And the shot came in. It was brilliantly blocked. I think a free kick has been awarded. It was an outswinging corner, which Scotland really didn't pick up. And I think it was Delaney who went in there. Yes, it was Delaney. Brave defending that was by Tierney, but it was a definite foul by Paulson. Sorry, by Delaney. And I can just tell you, in one of the other qualifying games, Russ has just tweeted that to me. He said Ronaldo has missed for Portugal against the Irish, and Mizuno has saved a penalty as well. Anyway, what's happening in that Portuguese-Irish game? Ronaldo is just back at Old Trafford, of course, after his £12.5 million move back to Man United from Juventus, which was one of the stories of the last few days of the transfer window. Of course, even more sensational was Antoine Griezmann going back to Atletico Madrid. Me and Russ were discussing off the air earlier on today about the transfer window and how pleased he is to get Dan James from Manchester United. £30 million it cost them. It was a player that should have joined Leeds a couple of years ago, but Swansea's club then, for whatever reason, decided to pull the plug. But it's been worth the wait. 2 years. Dan James obviously going down the pecking order with Ronaldo's arrival at Old Trafford has certainly given him a chance now to resurrect his career at a good club, Leeds United, a terrific side. And I think signing him shows ambition at the club and actually illustrates why I've got them to finish at least top 8 this season in the Premier League. Of course, they reconvene on September the 11th. On the Saturday, of course, Manchester United's Ronaldo will make his debut on that same afternoon against Newcastle United at Old Trafford. Anyway, back to Scotland. And if you just joined us, we're half an hour in. And Denmark, if I'm being honest, are all over them now. As Damsgaard makes a terrific run, picks up Danny Vass on the right-hand channel. Vass keeps it in play. Plays it to Olsen. Olsen to Delaney. Delaney on to Vass, who got the first goal, remember. And the Danish passing and moving is brilliant. Nice little triangular passes that are tearing the Scottish defence to smithereens. And they're bouncing up and down now all around the stadium. It's one of the greatest sights to see and watch and just appreciate here. We're inside the final quarter of an hour of what's been a chastening evening, or a chastening first half so far for the Scots, who trail 2-0 here in Group F for the World Cup qualifiers. Best to get second, remember, there's a Danish player down. I think the Romanian referee tried to play an advantage, and he also worked with Kenny McLean, who went in very hard on Daniel Vass. Yeah, pushed him very hard there, Kenny McLean. Really stupid play. And yes, 12th. Yeah. We know it's the 12th of September. What I mean by the Premier League reconvening, the next round of fixtures start on that day, of course. Continue on the 12th and 13th, because Burnley, of course, have to play Everton on the Monday night as well. So anyway, Olsen's going to, well, it's 2 main committee, Vass and Olsen, 18 and 11 respectively, who can take these 3 kicks. Just to the right of centre. It's about 40 yards, maybe a little bit further than that from goal. They look a bit concerned. Anyway, it's chipped in from the far post from Vass, and it was almost a third one. It was touch goal bound, and Gordon made a good save on the line. I think it may have been Yusuf Poulsen coming in at the back post who got a flick. If I'd have got in, even at this early stage, you'd have said curtains for Scotland there. But 2-0, they'll still believe they've got a chance. They've got to believe it. And they've got to believe it at this point, because it's going to be a chastening evening for Scotland and their supporters here at the moment. But they've got to believe they can get back into this game. They've got to stay in it at 2-0 and then just hope and pray that they get an opportunity. Now then, turning out. I think it's Robertson, in fact, who's just switched blanks. Robertson, it is. A bit how they switch blanks and just confuse the commentator that little bit more. Flick on there by Fraser, which is going to run straight into the arms of Kasper Schmeichel, who hasn't even had to muddy any of his gloves or any of his kit for the first 33.5 minutes. He's practically virtually been a spectator. Apart from the old goal kick era there, he's had absolutely diddly squat to do. Denmark 2, Scotland 0 is the current scoreline if you just joined us. Live alternate commentary of this Group F World Cup qualifier from Copenhagen. Here's Robertson now. Good running now. Trying to get in Che Adams. But Simon Kjær got back and did really well there. Che Adams is definitely a very quick lad, as he's proved so many times over the last 2 or 3 years, certainly in a Southampton shirt. But in the end, it just... But Simon Kjær's got the craft and know-how and the way with all so many years with the Danish side now, captain in the side and captaining with honour and distinction and reliability. Mr. Reliable, they call him here in Copenhagen. Ball back to Craig Gordon, who kicks away left-footed above the halfway line, but Shadows would have been offside from that goal kick, and Denmark claimed possession anyway. So it means that the Romanian referee could, Mr. Erdogan, can play on. Of course, we do have VAR, but it's not been necessary for this first 35 minutes. We're inside the final 10 minutes here on the TC Hub and JB Sports and JDAT Football, Storm FM and TC Hub 2. Also live this game on Periscope, Twitter and Twitch. And our streaming partner is the Melon streaming app. You can download that for free from the web store, from the Google App Store. It's Anderson now, number 2 in possession. Finds Simon Kjær deep inside his own half, just leisurely strolling the ball out at the moment. It's been a half that Steve Clarke could have ever afforded really at the start. I mean, it's bad enough having only 16 outfield players. Only a squad of 19 have travelled to Denmark. Of course, 4 or 5 of them, including John McGinn, are either through slight knocks or isolating from having tested positive for COVID-19. So it was a chastening experience enough before the start, and then between minutes 14 and 16, two really awful defensive lapses have put really Denmark in a very commanding position, and they've been the better side. There's no doubt about it. They've made their glass tell, although Poulsen's given away a free kick on the Scotland byline. It was a foul on Liam Cooper. Just a little push there on Cooper's left shoulder. That was the Poulsen chance. It was him coming on the far post, and he used the side of his right foot to get it on target, and Gordon's left elbow practically got it away. Yeah, it was his left arm. Good save. So Scotland could have easily been 3 down, but for the goalkeeper, Craig Gordon. Masses of international experience behind him. Knows what the whole thing is all about. As Anderson picks the ball up now for Denmark, who lead 2-0, remember. Mayo getting the second one after Vass from an IBA cross from the left had given Denmark a 14th minute lead. You said Poulsen can't keep it in on the far side. Now what's happened here? There's a bit of a dust up between Miele and Hanley. Now what's happened here? Now the referee's got some sorting out to do. I didn't see the incident because I'm I was looking at the ball. Now, what happened here? Well, Portson went, and there was a bit of a coming together here. Oh, Hanley's knocked him into the thing, and Hanley would do really well now just to keep out the referee's notebook here. Scotland 2-0 down and in danger of losing a little bit of discipline here. And Hanley, I have to be honest, has got away scot-free. Another referee, a more stronger referee, with all due respect to the Romanian official, who's not really up with the pace of the game. I've got to be honest, that's a yellow card offence, if I'm being totally honest. I'm actually amazed that VAR didn't get involved, but nevertheless, it's anyway, it's all kicked off without, it's all gone off without too much controversy, although I don't know whether Hanley could have seen a colour, possibly yellow. Oh, some dimmer rest would have said straight red for violent conduct, but anyway, here's a chance here now for Damsgaard inside the area. There's a Scottish player fouled by Damsgaard. It's a free kick to Scotland. It really has been a chasing inexperience for the Scottish supporters everywhere. McKenna was beaten to it by Olsen halfway. Played a lovely ball into Damsgaard. His first touch was a bit behind him, and then Damsgaard trips up Grant Hanley, the Norwich City defender, and it's a free kick to Scotland. As Craig Gordon, no chance on either goal. 3 fouls suffered for Denmark, 4 to Scotland. But the main statistic with 40 minutes exactly gone is that Denmark leads Scotland by 2-0. Scotland haven't even registered a shot at target. Well, that's sort of a header towards the target, but it's one of the most tamest headers from outside the area into the path of Schumacher. I'm not sure they'll count that as an effort on target, but the statisticians here over in Copenhagen, chasing in night here. Of course, Denmark, famous for its bacon. Lovely Danish bacon it is too. And a very good crowd here. Seeing the Danes looking very good. Famous for Danish bacon, for Carlsberg Lager. Of course, famous for football as well. They love their football in Scandinavia, especially the British type. They used to get a show in Denmark and Sweden and Norway called Tips Extra on a Saturday afternoon, where they transmit a live top flight game every Saturday. And that's how the Scandinavian love affair with English football began over 50 years ago. A history lesson for all you guys. So if you ever watch old highlights with Scandinavia advertising, you know the reasons as to why. There's a cross coming in there. It was Vass's right-footed cross, and it was too close to the goalkeeper, as it turned out. Wasn't a well-hit cross, but Scotland have made an absolute holics of this, and Højbjerg has possession. And it's really easy for Denmark at the moment to just pass the ball around at will at the moment, and Damsgaard has possession. Anderson has it right-hand side. But they're just taking their time, Denmark. Højbjerg now. Back to Anderson. We're inside the final 3 minutes now, plus stoppage time at the end of the first period. I'll be taking a quick break and then handing back to Russ Burnham for the halftime show. We'll give you a rundown of all the scores around Europe in the qualification games. Of course, there was a friendly match involving Wales earlier on. He'll keep you abreast with that one, or he'll tell you what happened in that game very soon. We were going to show it, but we had some technical hitches, so we couldn't bring you that game. But we're certainly bringing you this one: Denmark 2, Scotland 0. We're now 90 seconds away from the end of the first half, plus any injury time. But fourth official, Andrei Shibolet of Romania, will add on. All the on-field officials, incidentally, come from Romania. And just to remind you that Scotland have only 16 outfield players available to them tonight because of a combination of injuries and COVID-19 self-isolations at the moment. which is not helping matters really on the field this evening in Copenhagen. They trail 2-0 with a couple of minutes left to play of the first half. And they're trailing good and proper here, Scotland. There's no airs and graces about this performance from Denmark. They've really kept that form from the European Championships going. They had a terrific run to the semi-finals, which they were so unfortunate to lose. When you look back retrospectively to England, but they've certainly given as good as they've got throughout the first half. That is for sure. And they've certainly been excellent value for their 2-goal lead at the moment. And when you look at the game and dissect it, certainly in the first half, and I'm sure Russ will do so in a few seconds from now, I think everyone will agree that Denmark have really been the much better side. We just lost the stream, but we'll stay with you and just recap the 2 goals. The first one coming after 14 minutes. It was a 2-minute blast really that saw Denmark over the line really, or saw them into a 2-goal lead. And the first one was a header at the back post from Daniel Wass, who couldn't really miss from his vantage point. It was a real typical header. And then the second one was a 1-2, wonderfully played. And in fact, John Egan has just scored for the Republic of Ireland, incidentally, in Portugal. So that is a bit of a turn up. We're into 1 added minute, incidentally, at the end of what's been a highly competitive first half. Well, not an highly competitive, it's been an open and shut first half, really. But Scotland now needs something now in the remaining 30 seconds. They've got a free kick. And Fraser and Robertson, the 2-man committee. Again, the Romanian referee standing for no nonsense. Can Scotland, in the last 15 seconds of stoppage time, find themselves a chance to get back in it? Free kick from the right-hand side. Hanley jumps, and it's almost headed off the line. It will be a corner, I think. Simon Kerr got back on the line and prevented it from being so. It was Hanley's header, and Kerr just knocks it out for a corner. Again, Kerr showing good defensive instincts again. In fact, a free kick has been awarded and not a corner. But there goes the whistle for half-time. And that chance for Scotland has been the only chance, really, of what's been a really disastrous first half for them. They started a little bit brightly, showed some good touches, but then Denmark really showed their class. 2 goals in 2 minutes from Daniel Vass from a cross from IPA, and then a 1-2 with Damsgaard allowed Mefle to get in there and score the second one. 2 goals in 90 seconds, and they could have easily conceded a third as well. It's a chasing evening for Scotland, and Steve Clarke now will have to have the mother and father of all halftime team talks to get the Scots back into this, because at the moment it's looking a hopeless cause. But rejoin me for the second half if you can in Copenhagen. But for now, I'll hand you back to Russ with the scoreline here at halftime at the Parkham Stadium in Copenhagen. And it's not good news for any Scottish fans looking in. And it's Denmark 2 rather, Scotland 0. Back to Russ.
Thank you very much, JB. Hopefully everyone has enjoyed the first half coverage that JB has brought you for this match this evening. Just run you through some other scores which are just coming into us right now in a couple of international friendlies. The result was Finland 0, Wales 0. Current half-time score is Qatar 0, Serbia 2, and Switzerland 1, Greece 1. You'll see all the scores while the game is on going across the bottom of the screen while we bring you the commentary. Then I'll read them out for you at half-time and then again at full-time. In the World Cup qualifiers, it finished in the 3 o'clock kick-off. Kazakhstan 2, Ukraine 2, Denmark, as JB mentioned, a 2-0 against Scotland at the break in our featured match. Faroe Islands 0, Israel 2 is the late is the half-time score. France 1, Bosnia and Herzegovina 1, with Edin Dzeko opening the scoring for Bosnia before, let me get this one right, Atletico Madrid's Antoine Griezmann scoring just a day after returning to Atletico Madrid. Latvia 0, Gibraltar 0, Luxembourg 2, Azerbaijan 0. And coming up towards half time, it is Malta 1, Cyprus 0. Also, it is Moldova 0, Austria 0, Norway 1, Netherlands 1, Portugal 0, Republic of Ireland 1, Russia 0, Croatia 0, Slovenia 1, Slovakia 1, Turkey 2, Montenegro 0. In the matches, in the African World Cup qualifiers, round 2 over there, it finished Central African Republic 1, Cape Verde Islands 1, Guinea-Bissau 1, Guinea 1, Senegal 2, Togo 0, Egypt against Angola has been playing around about 38 minutes, no result, no update from that one just yet. Libya versus Gabon, that is also been playing around about the same time, no update from that one. And Mali versus Rwanda is also kicked off, been playing around about 38 minutes, no update on that scoreline as them at the moment in time. If we do get any of those updated scores from those matches, I will bring it to you here on the commentary hub, where we're bringing you coverage of our chosen World Cup qualifier from the European stage, as we look ahead to some more great matches coming up in the next few days. Some more international matches coming up as well. I've currently got the Egypt versus Angola score, currently 1-0 to Egypt. Mohamed Magdi with the goal on 5 minutes. Just have a look for the other matches for you as we get ready for Libya 1, Gabon 1 after 39 minutes. Andre Biopoko scored for Gabon before Ali Salma equalised. He's been playing 39 minutes in that one. And in the other match, which I mentioned in the African World Cup qualifiers, Mali taking on Rwanda. Mali lead by a goal to nil. Adama Traore, not the Adama Traore though, a different Adama Traore, has scored for Mali. He plays for Sheriff Tiraspol, who are in the Champions League. We may try and cover one of their Champions League matches, but Adama M. Traore is plays for Sheriff Tiraspol. They're in the Champions League for this season, and they were drawn into Group D to face Inter, Real Madrid, and Shakhtar Donetsk. And Sheriff Tiraspol became the first Moldovan team to qualify for the group stages of the Champions League. So very big well done to them. But hard group for them. I'm just looking at the goals again, which JB described you now, and that's lovely bit of play from down the left. Lovely ball in from Oibia from the central position, looking to, and just, if you just look at this, it looked as though he spotted him, made that run, and McKenna playing him onside, and it was a simple header, and he headed it back across to where it came from, and an easy goal in the end. Just there. Then the Joachim Mæhle goal on 15 minutes. A minute later, good bit of play down the right hand side from Andreas Olsen into Damsgaard, into Mæhle, back into Damsgaard. A lovely flick from Damsgaard to get it back into the run of Joachim Mæhle, who kindly guided it between the legs of Craig Gordon. If Gordon had kept those legs shut, there'd probably only been 1-0 to the Danes, but he opened his legs, tried to make himself big, and while he did that, the ball slid through the legs and across the line into the back of the net. And with the Republic of Ireland game, Portugal missed a penalty in the first half through Cristiano Ronaldo, the man who is back at Old Trafford after signing for Manchester United from Juventus this summer. There was a challenge from Jeff Hendrick, the former Burnley man, now at Newcastle. He fouled Bruno Fernandes. VAR checked the decision and gave a penalty, and the penalty from Cristiano Ronaldo was saved by Bizunu to keep a level and 0-0. And then in first half stoppage time, it was a corner for Republic of Ireland, considered by Yao Palina, and then Jamie McGraw whipped the corner in, and Johnny Higgins' header from the left-hand side of the 6-yard box headed it back across goal into the bottom right-hand corner to give Republic of Ireland the lead. Aaron Connolly has been booked for the Republic of Ireland in that match. Also to Jeff Hendrick and Dara O'Shea. And Andrew Umabamadele of Norwich City is on for the Republic of Ireland in that game. He replaced Dara O'Shea just 3 minutes after picking up a booking. In the Portugal side, Rui Patricio's in goal, João Cancelo, Ruben Diaz, Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, Diogo Teixeira also involved there. And Gavin Bizano plays his club football in England at Portsmouth, I believe, and he was the man who saved the penalty for Republic of Ireland, who currently lead 1-0 in their match against Portugal. Be interesting to see how the second half goes and whether what Scotland boss Steve Clarke decides what to do going forward. Be interesting to see how that goes moving forward. Interesting to see how that goes and if Scotland will make any changes. As JB said, depleted Scotland squad due to COVID-19 injuries as well. On the bench is outfield players for the Scots: Lyndon Dykes, Ryan Christie, newly Bournemouth signing, turned down Burnley, sorry to mention that, JB, Jack Hendry, Declan Gallagher, Lewis Ferguson, and David Turnbull. So Kieran Tierney, Andy Robertson playing the right wing back today with Kieran Tierney on the left wing back. I think that may be a problem which is not working for Scotland, but probably had no other choice due to the injuries and COVID situation within the camp. I'm wondering if I'm sure he will be looking at watching the game wherever he is, Christian Eriksen, and hopefully he's found out about our coverage. Not sure if he has, but if he has and he is listening, we send you a speedy recovery for what happened back in this summer at the Euros. Get well soon, my friend. So, with the second half about to start very, very shortly, we'll be getting ready to hand back to JB in a moment or two. We'll be looking to fetch you some women's action from the WSL starting this weekend. We'll try and bring you the first game of the new WSL season, which is on Friday evening. We'll try and bring you that one, but we have got one on Saturday for you. I'll tell you all about that later in the broadcast. We'll try and fetch you at least 2 live matches across each game week if we are able to. We'll try and fetch you at least 2 matches per game week across the competition if we can. So make sure you stay tuned to see which 2 matches we have chosen for you for this week. Well, one I can tell you that we've chosen while we're waiting for the start of the second half is Everton against Manchester City. We'll hopefully have one of the other games for you. Either the one on Friday night or one on Sunday lunchtime. But with Scotland back out for the second half and with Denmark back out for the second half and now the officials back also out for the second half, it's time for me to say I'll speak to you again at full time and I'm back to your match commentator, JB.
Thanks again, Russ, and welcome back, everybody. Well, a chastening first 45 minutes for Scotland here this evening in Copenhagen. I wonder what Steve Clarke would have said in the halftime team talk. I'll just have to wait and see. But the players, as Russ said just now, are back out there. What a result that could be for the Republic of Ireland, by the way. A Ronaldo penalty saved. And John Egan, who's not having the best of times at club level with Sheffield United, who have yet to win a game still in the Championship. Well, he's just scored one of the goals of his life, if that turns out to be the winner in Dublin. Substitution is going to be made. Lyndon Dykes is going to come on for Scott McKenna. He was a bit ineffective in that first half. So Steve Clarke ringing the change at half-time. I think he might need a bit of something extra up front. And Lyndon Dykes is the man to provide it. So what have Scotland got in the next 45 minutes? Will Denmark increase the lead? They were good value for their 2-goal lead at half-time. Now can Scotland reply in kindness? Both teams are in usual colours. Scotland in the all dark street getters underway, attacking the goal to my right. Denmark in red and white with almost identical to Arsenal's strip. Getters away, attacking the goal to my left. And they're not playing like Arsenal are at the moment. They're playing really good football. Of course, Arsenal, need I tell you, are sitting bottom of the Premier League going into this break. And I read somewhere in the newspaper this morning that Arsenal have been the highest spenders in terms of net spend in the summer window, which illustrates how bad a start of the season they've actually had. Well, I'm not going to bore everybody about Arsenal's troubles because we've got international football for the next week or so. 3 games. Every nation's got to play in 7 days. It's going to be going all the way around. Here come Denmark, early start of the second half. And Poulsen got in behind just for a millisecond. I think the referee's put his flag up for offside. Well, the linesman has anyway. In fact, I think it might have been Olsen who was offside. If he was, and I honestly think Scotland getting on with it straight away. This offside law, I can't understand why you've got to play on. This is the problem. The rule is, the rule is such an awful rule for the offside. If he's offside, just put the flag up and whistle and get on with the game. Why bother taking it through to the end? It's just pointless. It's extra seconds wasted. And I'm sure Leeds supporters will sort of concur with me a little bit from a neutral's point of view, because because one in the build up to that horrible Barnes tackle on Dallas on Saturday, if that doesn't happen, if the old offside flag had gone up and the old offside law was applied there, Barnes would not have made that challenge on Dallas, I assure you of that. And that is just one of the nuances of this ridiculous offside ruling that we've got at the moment in the game. Who would have thought of it once stringing up, quite frankly. Anyway, enough about griping. More about the footballers. Scotland get a throw in now. Can they launch themselves into it? Gilmore going forward. Gilmore shoots. Gilmore, it's just wide. And that was the best chance Scotland have fashioned. It was Billy Gilmore getting the ball deep inside Scotland territory. Adams flicking the throwing on. And Gilmore from just outside the edge of the D, almost central, had Schmeichel scrambling for all he's worth across to his right. And just missed the left-hand post. That would have been a strange start for Scotland at the start of the second half. Billy Gilmore, the Norwich City loanee, almost with a perfect riposte for Steve Clarke's men at the start of the second half. But to no avail, it remains 2-0. Here's Mile going forward down the left-hand side. And, well, Ryan Fraser wanted a Scottish throw. He's telling the referee, come on, get some specs. I think it was a Danish throw, I think, to be fair to Ryan Fraser. Here's Oibier on the ball. Back to number 6, Christensen. That's Andreas Christensen, that is. Joachim Andersen. Andersen into Mikkel Damsgaard, now Simon Keir. Of course, we'll keep you abreast of how the Republic of Ireland are doing throughout the evening. They're leading 1-0 as things stand against Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal, and Ronaldo has had a penalty saved in that match. Here's Yusuf Poulsen, but the whistle's gone again. This Romanian referee is having plenty to say for himself. I hope he's now another celebrity ref like Mike Dean. Just a little shirt tug. He could have played an advantage there. I'm sure of it. I think this referee's the Romanians' answer to Mike Dean or Clive Thomas. If you're wondering who I'm talking about, Clive Thomas, ask your parents. Maybe ask your grandparents. He was a big referee in the 1978 World Cup finals when he controversially disallowed a winning goal from Brazil when he blew for full time as a Brazilian corner coming up against Sweden, I think I remember. But if you want to know who Clive Thomas is, ask your grandparents, young viewers. Free kick clouted in towards the back post. It's nodded away by the Scots, but Billy Gilmore has just given a little bit of hope to the Scottish players. And there's been a red card in the French game. Jules Koundé has been sent off for France in their qualifying now, so in Strasbourg. So they're down to 10 men as things stand. As Mayo tries to get a run down that far near side, but Hanley, the opposite number, if you like, both wear number 5. Does a good job, but then gives it straight to Mikkel Damsgaard, and he's got a corner there. And that'll perk up the Danish natives here in this capacity crowd here in Copenhagen. Sea of red around this wonderful stadium. It's almost, when you look at the demographics of the stadium, it's almost like it's English in terms of its structure. It's absolutely superb. It's an English type stadium with the crowd right on top of you. No running track, no nothing. Lovely sort of atmospheric stadiums where the crowd's on top. Corner comes in from the left-hand side. West now tries his shot, and it's hit wildly to the left of the penalty box, after the day out, I should say. It was hit right-footed, but sliced badly, hit wildly by Lass. We got the first one, of course, with a header from a deep left-hand side cross from Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Steve Clark looking impassively on. There's his opposite number, Casper Hulmand. We're just having a little bit of a lull there in the first 2 or 3 minutes, but they got back into their stride. There was a bit of an up and under, and then there was a little bit of an old-fashioned type scrap, which Denmark have come away for us with it. Here's Damsgaard, and he's found Mail now. Mail going down the left-hand channel here, back inside to Thomas Delaney. Now a chance here for the third. Oh, the ball pulled back almost to Daniel Wass inside the penalty area. It was Olsen who got the cross in. Lovely approach play again down that left-hand side. Olsen getting inside the area just to the left of the penalty box as we look at it. 52 gone. Still Denmark 2, Scotland 0. And all the other later scores you'll be able to see at the bottom of your screen, and we'll be bringing them up on plenty of occasions. Of course, I've got to pick a man of the match tonight as well. And that, I should tell you, is sponsored by Barry Swain's Commentary Services Limited, who are the brains behind the highly successful commentary workshop, which has been going now for around about 10 years now. And I think both myself and Russ know each other from those days. And we're bringing you this live commentary. We're also live on, as well as on the TC Hub YouTube channel. We're also live on JB Sports, which is my own channel, John Kane's channel, which is JDAT Football, Russ's very own Commentary Hub 2, and Mike Harneman and his Storm FM YouTube channel. And we're also live on Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch. The streaming partner for the season is the Melon streaming app. And here come Denmark down the left-hand side with Mayo, but he's offside. And a free kick to Scotland, who still trail 2-0, but Billy Gilmore so far has been the man most likely to pick a way through for the Scots. It was a chasing in first half for them, if you remember. 2 goals inside 2 minutes has really put the wind up the Scottish sails. So against the Scottish sails, I should say. Free kick taken by Gordon, just to the left-hand side of the penalty box. Another game of head tennis going on there. Gilmore gets the ball back. No chase on there for Tierney to get down that side. Now a chance now for Scotland. Left-hand side, they're cutting in well. Chance there. Oh, it was a wonderful pass, and Kenny McLean had just gone too soon. It was behind McLean. And if only he'd have got that on the edge of the area and maybe had the shot there, Kenny McLean, then it could have been a way back for Scotland. But they're starting to make 1 or 2 things happen. I don't want to get people too excited at the moment, but Scotland are starting just to get a little foothold in this game. 54 gone. But the thing is now, if Denmark score again, then Steve Clark's going to go back to the drawing board, and any chances of qualification automatically will have gone with this result tonight, and then it will just have to be making sure of the playoffs. As Damsgaard gets in there to Højbjerg, deep inside Scottish territory now. Delaney has possession, finds Anderson with it. Joachim Anderson. Olsen back to Anderson, right-hand side, 10 gone in the second half. Still 2-0 on the TC Hub. We've also got a Twitter account at Commentary Live 1. Of course, Media Journal is Russ's Twitter handle. That's offside there, surely. They'll have to play on, of course, which I think the rule is a complete and utter daft rule, as Flanker's got up anyway against Poulsen. Free kick it is, and yeah, I think he timed his run well. No, he was offside, actually. And Poulsen, I think, just couldn't keep it in play, or brought his man down. I think it was probably a combination of both, actually. He kept it in all right, but he stretched his man. That's what's happened. And that's why the free kick was given rather than the offside. But as soon as they get the offside rule to an easy level, it frustrates players, it frustrates commentators. And I just don't understand that ruling, that offside ruling. Whoever came up with that one, string it up, quite honestly, in my humble opinion. 2-0 it is to Denmark as Scotland come charging forward once again. Damsgaard out to the far side. Here's Anderson this time. We'll try and keep you abreast of what's happening at the Aviva Stadium, where the Republic of Ireland are currently leading Portugal by a goal just before the break, scored by Sheffield United's John Egan. But here's Callum McGregor for Scotland. He carries it well over halfway. Picks out Tierney. Tierney now going inside. Will he pick out Fraser? He will. It's Fraser with a chip in there towards Che Adams, and it's headed away for a corner for Scotland. They're trying to make things happen. Anderson knocking that cross out for a corner. But Scotland are looking a bit more threatening. They're carrying a little bit more threat in this second half. And I just believe that the substitution there with Lyndon Dykes on, I think, could give them an extra dimension. It also means that Fraser can now play on the wing, which is his more natural position. That's what he's used to playing at Newcastle. And before that at Bournemouth. Again, the referee's not happy about a bit of pushing and shoving. For God's sake, this referee is doing everyone's nut in at the moment. Anyway, it's actually at Old Garth rather, not the Aviva Stadium. In fact, they're away from home, I'm told, as the cup comes in. And Schmeichel takes possession. So a bit of a JB blooper there. It's not at Dublin. It's in the Old Garth. And it's a case of 1 foot in the Old Garth for the Portuguese, who are losing 1-0 at the moment. See what I did there? I think the Portuguese side have got a touch of the Victor Meldrews tonight. And so the Scottish team, by the looks of it. Richard Wilson, who plays Victor Meldrews, a passionate passionate Scotsman, and he'll be disappointed if he is watching this game. I'm sure he'll be saying that well-known phrase, "I don't believe it," and I'm not going to try and do the impression. I'll probably get fined. I'll probably get charged off Richard Wilson for it. Anyway, back to the game, and it's Denmark 2, Scotland 0 in the World Cup the European World Cup qualifiers, run by UEFA, of course. Of course, it's if Denmark win this game, they take a huge step towards the playing for Qatar next winter, where the World Cup will be held between October and November next year. Still a controversial decision, some 12 years on from when they announced it. Still 12 years on from that, nearly 12 years on from that a horrible decision to hold it in Qatar. It still baffles me. Anyway, here's a chance now for Kenny McLeod to get down the right-hand side. Back to Fraser. Fraser with a lovely cross, but just too much whip on it. And Simon Kerr is too good a defender to be fooled with a cross like Ryan Fraser was there. Still remains 2-0 to Denmark. If you've just joined us here on the TC Hub, both goals coming in the 14th and 15th minute. The first one was Daniel Wass from a cross from the far side from the Tottenham Hotspur player Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. And then the second goal, a 1-2 between Mail and Damsgaard, which led to Mail tapping in the second with his right foot. And here come the Danes now looking for this killer third. Chip forward there by Damsgaard towards the far side. Anderson with the cross in there. And again, it'll come to Damsgaard on the edge of the area. And Højbjerg now and Vass. Vass now has possession. He got the first one, remember. Super header into the left corner, which got the Danish party started. And Mayo is in such great space. And there comes the shot. And it's a brilliant save to deny Delaney from outside the box by goalkeeper Craig Gordon. It was a terrific effort. Hit it well with the left foot, and Gordon having to dive away to his left-hand side as he looked. Got a big left hand on it. kept it out, and did well to get on the rebound before Poulsen could get in there on the 6-yard line. Now Scotland stopped themselves from going 3 goals down here in this highly competitive game. It's turned into a bit of a fight. This has been a better second half from the Scots, but they still trail 2-0. They need 2 goals, remember. Che Adams is way offside, and that's why Lyndon Dykes could not get it through to him. I was reluctant to release him because Che Adams was well beyond the last defender. It's a chasing and experience. Ball possession here. Denmark have had 66% possession. Scotland 34. Excuse me. Anyway, you're listening to the TC Hub. Here comes Scotland with Che Adams. Adams, I think the whistle's gone actually. I think he might have been a handball when Adams was trying to control that loose ball. If he did. Yeah, there. As he goes past Oibie, that's what happened. Former Southampton teammate. This was the effort again from Tom Delaney, which was well saved by Craig Gordon. Held on to it at the second attempt. Under huge pressure there from Yusuf Bolson, who was charging in like the charge of the cavalry brigade. But Scotland trailing Denmark by 2 goals to 0. First Love Live international football for the next 7 days. We have women's football definitely on Saturday. I'll be your commentator for Everton against Manchester City in the Women's Super League. And that'll be a lunchtime kickoff at Goodison Park, incidentally. Here's Billy Gilmore, the Norwich City man, running about 45 yards. Picks out Kenny McLean. McLean with a cross into the penalty area, headed away by Simon Kerr. Not a good cross really from Kenny McLean. It wasn't a really particularly good one. And in the end, any opportunity there for the Scots to try and get themselves back into it disappeared. Here's McLean again. Muscled out a bit. Fairly, says the referee. I think a lot of the Scottish fans wanted a free kick, but I don't think there was any great protest from the men in dark blue on the field. And now it's just starting to get a bit heated. Free kick now to Denmark. Foul on Vass, and frustration now for the Scottish players. This is the foul here. It's Kieran Tierney. He's not having a great start to the season. The Arsenal man, his team in the bottom 3, and now a chastening night in Copenhagen. Denmark preparing a substitution in just a second or two. I can't tell who it is. He hasn't got his shirt on yet. Number 19, in fact, Wind is going to come on here as Was at the moment. He's in a bit of agony. Simon Kerr just going over to check on his welfare. Casper Human's side, no, they've been in a bit more of a battle second half. It was really easy for them in the first. Scotland have created 1 or 2 good opportunities. That's the goal that West scored to set Denmark on their way. Then they scored a second soon afterwards as Damsgaard laid the ball in. And Mela got in there, tapped the ball home with his right foot, with his instep, made it 2. And I thought at the time that the floodgates may have opened. They did have a couple of good opportunities to make it 3 before the break. Then Scotland had a real go. Billy Gilmore, the hub of everything good about the Scottish play here. We've had 20 minutes of the second half. It's Denmark 2, Scotland 0. And we're live on the TC Hub, TC Hub 2, JB Sports, JDAC Football, and Storm FM. Our streaming partner for the season is Melon app, the Melon streaming app. And we're also live on Twitter, Periscope, and Twitch. As Denmark have got a free kick, Simon Kerr to take. Gets it back from Højbjerg. Still inside his own half. 2-0 to Denmark is the scoreline. Ball played back to Simon Kerr, but Scotland looking a little bit more dangerous. Certainly with Lyndon Dykes on the ball, but Dykes is actually giving away a free kick, I think. Foul on Simon Kerr. Tricked him from behind. Just a little bit too eager there from Lyndon Dykes. Just trips him there. And a free kick it is to Scotland. Still 1-0 in the Algarve to the Republic of Ireland. John Egan at the moment being a true Irish hero. Can you believe that scoreline? I don't think many people going to that match in the Algarve tonight would have fancied the Republic to be at this goal ahead at the same stage. They kicked off at around about the same time as the Scottish game is happening at the moment. So UK time, that is. And again, a further foul there on Dansgaard. Free kick to Denmark. Scotland now just getting so ragged here. Kenny McLean just pushing him there, and that was stupid from Kenny McLean. And Poulsen's coming off. He's had a decent match, hasn't scored. It's come close a couple of times, and Wind will come on for the final 23 minutes plus stoppage time to go. There he is, number 19. So we've had 67 minutes. We're halfway, literally through the second half. And Denmark now 2 goals clear. But Scotland have really given a good account of themselves in the second half and have tried in vain to really make a game of it. But as each moment ticks by, as I said, we're in the 67th minute, so 68th minute rather. It looks as if it's going to be a defeat for Scotland, which will not help their chances. It could still give them a chance of a playoff berth, but depending on how the results go, it's not going to be a good night. So the next 2 games are winnable fixtures for the Scots, and if they can get back to winning ways with 6 points from those next 2 games, well, who knows? Playoff hopes may still be rekindled if they can get positive results in the next 2 group games. Not saying it's all over for them yet, but you look at the Danish side and you look at the Scottish side, heavily depleted, but they'll get most of their key men back from Knox and COVID-19 isolations respectively, which will make the Scottish squad a bit more stronger. They have missed the likes of John McGinn, who's, as I said, one of those self-isolating at the moment. But Scotland are still trying to give it all to that dark blue shirt of theirs, and they're trying to get forward at every conceivable opportunity. Che Adams having to play the ball back. Cooper now finds Tierney. They just need something to break there. Billy Gilmore has been probably their best man on the night, but at the moment, if I was to choose a man in the match, I'd be certainly having a look at people like Vass and people like that. Højbjerg especially, he's run the midfield. Simon Kjær's made some terrific interventions. So there's 3 candidates off the top of my head that I could choose for Denmark a little bit later on in the game. And that man of the match award, or player of the match as we tend to call it these days, is sponsored by Commentary Services. Going up towards past the 60th minute mark, 69th minute mark. That's a clear foul there by Finn on Hanley. 3 kick on the edge of the box to Scotland, the edge of their own box to Scotland, I should say. Bit of a late one there from Wind. Certainly put the wind up Hanley's sails, no pun intended. 3 kick to Scotland. So what can they do here? It's been a chasing in experience for every Scot listed in. But they've still got winnable games coming up later on. Fouls suffered, 10-9 in Denmark's favour. Just proves that the Scottish are just losing their discipline a wee bit. Here's Lyndon Dykes. And on the edge of the area, but Delaney saw to it that he wouldn't go further. Here's Højbjerg now going over halfway. That's a nice ball, but well covered there by Grant Hanley. Still 2-0 to Scotland, and all the other scores, the latest scores going through on the ticker at the bottom of your screen. And if there's any massive developments, I'm sure Russ, our producer tonight and presenter, will fill us in and be able to give you that full well. Here's a player at the moment who's just about to come on, Christie, formerly Celtic. But I have to say this with gritted teeth because I'm a very passionate Burnley fan. As Che Adams makes his way off. There's Christie. Should really have been a Burnley player, but I labelled him on social media as unambitious, and I can see why. I don't understand why he would choose Bournemouth over Burnley, but if he wants to be a bit unambitious and not play at the highest level, then that's more for him. But he's got a chance now to show what he's all about in a Scottish shirt. What I think personally of him at this moment in time is irrelevant, but I've got to talk now as an unbiased commentator of this game, and I hope they can get themselves back into this. Scotland, they've had a go in the second half, but is it too little, too late in terms of getting a decent result? They can still score 2 goals. There's still 18 minutes plus stoppage time left to go. Here's Ryan Fraser now. He has to touch it back to Grant Hanley. Now Liam Cooper of Leeds gets the ball forward, a long ball forward. And Lyndon Dykes now, looks like it's Christian Dykes up front now. Here's Dykes down the left-hand side. Christie's in support. But Anderson covering well there for the Danes over on the far side as Lyndon Dykes try to make inroads there towards the edge of the Danish penalty box. Now, and the Romania referee, on the Romania's answer to Mike Dean, has certainly had an eventful game himself here tonight in Copenhagen. Here's Cooper again, still inside his own half. At full time, when we're finished here, Russ will finish the programme off in his own inevitable style with all the full-time scores from around Europe in the World Cup qualifiers. And then we'll tell you a bit about what we're going to be having a little bit later on in terms of live footballers. The ball now has been McLean. Chance here, shot comes in. And it was Callum McGregor with the left foot. Simple save, really. For Kasper Schmeichel. Hasn't had that much to do in terms of making a real save. That was actually a tame left-footed drive. And it was one of Schmeichel's easier saves. They'll have to make it international level. Scotland still in it at 2-0 considerably, but they're running out of time. Gilmore in possession finds McGregor. Now across in there, and I think there were appeals for hands there. But nothing untoward happened there, so Scotland win possession. Ball booted out of play there. Scotland wants something there. Scotland appealing for something. I just wonder if it was a foul there on Billy Gilmore. Oh, I tell you what, that is out. Tell you what, he's lucky there, Mela, to get away with that. It's a bit out of control, that. One has to say. 4 attempts on target for Denmark, 1 at Scotland. 74 gone, or 74 and a half minutes gone. Denmark 2, Scotland 0. Now, what's been a very chastening night for Scottish football this evening. But it doesn't rule them out of qualification or making the playoff rounds for the World Cup. I think that was probably the target, considering the huge strength in depth that Denmark have got, as well as their undoubted pedigree as a good side. They proved it time and time again throughout the European Championships. They do have a good side that's capable of going deep into tournaments, and if they were to qualify for next year's World Cup competition, World Cup finals in Qatar, I actually would see them as certain dark horses. This Winter's been penalised for, I think, a handball, as Hanley challenged him. I certainly think that Denmark could go deep into the World Cup, even though the South American teams and African teams and things like that are certainly capable of reaching the quarterfinals of the tournament. No doubt about that. I think they fancy themselves against the Brazils and Argentinas of the world. Ball hooked away once more, and Scotland now looking to try and at least make a fight of it now in the remaining quarter of an hour plus injury time. We'll be on the air just before 10 o'clock tonight. And of course, I'll be choosing my player of the match later on. Cross comes in from Fraser. Oof! I think that was almost an own goal. I think Scotland have got a corner out of that. Anderson headed it back towards the goal and he headed it wide. But Fraser put in some wonderful telling crosses from the right-hand channel. And Lyndon Dykes was in there. Might have been fouled as well, Lyndon Dykes. He was claiming for a penalty. But it's a corner only. It's the second of the game. In comes the corner from the far near side. It comes out here to McGregor. McGregor finds Gilmore. Gilmore with a right-footed cross into the penalty area. It's a good one. It's a D1 and it's met by a Scottish hand. I think it was Lyndon Dykes. He was certainly one of the Scottish players challenging for it. It's gone wide of the left-hand post anyway. In fact, it was Hanley who got the last touch. And behind for a Danish goal kick. And another Scottish half chance falls by the wayside toward Cooper. Dykes and Hanley all went charging in there. Hanley has hurt himself in that massive collision inside the penalty box, Danish penalty area. He's a tough character, Grant Hanley. We all know that. 12 to play. The Danes lead the Scots by 2-0. But I have to say, Scotland have shown a bit more fight in the second half, and are showing a bit more sort of more gallant display. The first half was shockingly poor. Here's McLean, has to head it back to Braze, who gets it back to Craig Gordon, I should say. I was going to say Alan McGregor, but it isn't. It's Craig Gordon. And tough all night for the day. Tough all night for Scotland. It really has. They've got winnable fixtures coming up in the next sort of week or so. So 6 points from 9 would still not be a bad outcome for them. Denmark were always going to be group favourites and market leaders in that group, as Sean Dyche would put it. It's simply showing why they are market leaders in this Group F. They are the bee's knees, really. They'll go to 12 points, incidentally, with a win here in Copenhagen tonight, Denmark. And they're well on the way to doing that, even though they've made a bit more, although Scotland have made a bit more of a fight of it in the second half, it's got to be said. Arm kick forward, headed on by Dykes. Headed away once again. And the boys now with Kenny McLean. Comes to Fraser. Fraser has to go back inside. Looks for Gilmore. Gilmore turning away nicely. Finds Fraser once more. Now Cooper has it for Scotland. Gets the ball in there. Dykes now turns it on. This is better for Scotland. They're looking a bit more inviting now as Tierney now tries to take his man on there. Ball played in across and it might come here for Fraser, who shoots inside by the penalty spot. And the goalkeeper, Schmeichel, pulls off his best save of the night. I don't think Fraser hit it as well as he would have hoped. But if that goes in, it's game on. And Scotland would have been back in business. It's pulled back. Fraser snapshot, I think. Schmeichel had it covered. Corner's been taken quickly. And it's out for another corner to the Scots. 9.5 minutes to play. We're coming up to 81 minutes and the match gone. Corner now to be taken by Tierney, I think. Tierney's cross into towards the near post. There's still a chance there. There's a bit of a scramble, but it's been scrambled wide by a Scottish attacker, and it's been forced wide. But this was the Fraser chance. We played 81 minutes here in Copenhagen. And Scotland could have easily have scored at least a couple of goals in this second half. But just haven't took their chances. But you've got to give them credit. They're having a real go in this second half. And there's no doubt about it. Here's Schmeichel with the goal kick. It's flicked on. And the ball laid in there. Oh, it's just too long for... It's too long there for the Danish attacker. Wynn was waiting in the middle as well. Here comes Scotland again. Well, if there's any positives to take from tonight, certainly the second half performance has been much improved and much better. Here's Gilmore now, deep inside his own half, has to get it forward. Hanley now knocks it on to Fraser, who will be kicking himself that he couldn't beat Schmeichel there a few seconds ago and get the Scots back into it. We've played nearly 82 minutes. Denmark still leading by those 2 goals in the 14th and 15th minutes. From firstly, Daniel Wass and then Mahler. 2 goals in 90 seconds, really probably going to prove the difference tonight. But my word, Scotland have made a game of it second half. And for that, they've got to be given a bit of credit for that. But I just wonder if it's just gone far too late now. Double substitution being prepared. We're going to see Dramé, certainly one of them. That's Denmark now look to try and close this game out. Be very professional in the way that they've done about things, but I tell you what, it's been a chastening night for everybody who's been a Scottish persuasion. Certainly in the first half, I thought the first half was a chastening experience, but then again, Scotland have had a goal second half. Could have forced 2 goals, you know. A point away, Copenhagen would have been nothing to be sniffed at. There's going to be 3 substitutions. The other one is Nordgaard and Stringer, the other 2. So Denmark preparing to bring on 3 subs in 1. Here's Billy Gilmore now for Scotland. Looks for Fraser on the right-hand channel. Fraser gets the ball forward, deflects. I think we're going to see a triple substitution now from Denmark. Off comes Daniel Vass, the scorer of the first goal, getting a standing ovation from his capacity crowd here in Copenhagen. Striger is going to come on for him. And he's giving Vass a great round of applause. Then Olsen is going to come off as well for the Danes. He's going to be replaced by Dranami. So Dranami is now going to come on. Number 21. Nordgaard is also being prepared as well. And they're taking their time with the substitutions. I hope the referee will be adding time on at the end of that one, I've got to be honest. Just trying to see who the third one was. Number 8 is Thomas Delaney, who couldn't get a third goal for the Danes. Had a chance that was well saved by Craig Gordon early on. So these 3 subs are going to get a good 5 or 6 minutes of action. We're also going to see Turnbull come on. Off comes a very frustrated Kenny McLean. And there's Turnbull, number 18. The Danes really have got a great reputation. Likes of the Laudrup brothers, Jesper Olsen, Peter Schmeichel before that. They've certainly got pin-up boys in the old days. Certainly the Laudrup brothers are probably the most famous Danish footballers ever to play the game in this country. They'll be delighted about this result. Here's Billy Gilmore now. Of course, Brian, of course, played his trade at Rangers for some years. Here's Fraser again now, right-hand side, into Gilmore. Inside the area, Billy Gilmore, he's not stopped running all night. Cross comes in from Turnbull towards the penalty area. But the Danes got it away masterly, and they've got a free kick halfway inside their own half. And Hanley fouling win there. A little frailing arm there from Grant Hanley. 4 minutes to go. It's not looking good for Scotland, I'm afraid, tonight. They've been so better and gallant in the second half, but I don't think they're going to get any change out of the Denmark defence, who been beautifully marshalled by Simon Kjær there. Skipper at the back. He's looked unbeatable. Kasper Schmeichel, when called upon, has made a couple of really smart saves. But we're coming up towards the climax now. Here's Germani now running at his man. Germani running towards the area. Real opportunity now for number 3. Chip ball back from Bert. Oh, and Højbjerg's cross was a terrific one. And the man at the back post, I don't know who it was, couldn't get on the end of it. They might get a third here. Oh, a brilliant save. And the cross came in from the right, and Højbjerg's header was well saved, and then the shot was hit wildly by Anderson well into the stand, right footed from about 25, 30 yards. But Højbjerg there, nearly making it 3, but it's Germani who brings it forward. It feeds Højbjerg. This is the cross. I don't know who got on nearly got on the end of it. I couldn't tell who it was. I think it might have actually been Stringer who nearly got on the end of it. Then the cross came in. Højbjerg came in at the back post. And credit to Craig Gordon. It was a marvellous save. And here come the Scots now, looking to settle this once and for all. JB in the commentary box. John Stuttard, your commentator. Russ Vernon will be finishing off the programme in a minute. Here's a chance now for Fraser to get the ball in, but he can't get it in. It was a poor cross. And here go the Danes again with Germani. 2 to play. Denmark, I've had to battle a bit second half because Scotland have given it their all. And that's all you could ask for. But the damage was done inside the first quarter hour tonight. And here come the Danes now looking to kill this game off once and for all. They get a third. The game is over as a contest. And they're just passing the ball now at Nordgaard. Just nice, easy stuff here this evening. Kjær in possession. Here's Højbjerg, who should have had a third, a second or two ago. Might have been tough on the Scots, really, who have given it their best shot in this second half. But when you come up against the side of Denmark's quality and class, you can see why they were European semi-finalists for a very particular reason. They play well as a side. And their togetherness and their team spirit is there for all to see. But we've seen a bit more spirit and a bit more fight and determination in a gallant second half from Scotland. But it's not enough to get them anything tonight in terms of points. But it will bode well for their next 2 games. And if it can take, which are winnable, and if it can take 6 points from those next 2 games, one of them's against Moldova, then they've got every chance in the world. But Scotland are not going to stop trying, that's for sure. The damage was done in the first quarter hour of the game, and that is why Denmark will win this game 2-0. But Scotland have had chances. But also, let's not forget as the 4th official, Cevente of Romania, just puts the board up below me and signals 3 minutes. I just want to make the point at this stage that Scotland have only had 16 outfield players, excluding the goalkeepers. They've only taken a squad of 19 for this game. And I think the strength in depth has shown between the 2 sides in that respect. That is for sure. And of course, Russ, yes, and of course, player of the match. I've got to choose a player of the match. I'm actually going to go. It's a hard one tonight because I think anyone who's I'm going to go. I have to tell you, I could have picked an attacker, but just for the way, although he's giving away a free kick for a handball there, I'm going to go for Simon Kjær as man of the match because you look at him, he's with Scotland because Scotland have had a goal second half, and some of the challenges he's come in have been superb. He's won every ball. Ferguson on for Gilmore, incidentally, but Going back to Simon Kerr, he's had a terrific game tonight. And you can see why he's skipper and one of the best players, one of the best defenders in Europe, if not the world, because he's a superb leader of men. Looks very good, and his interventions tonight have really probably got Denmark a clean sheet here tonight. So I'm going to go for Simon Kerr for Denmark. That's my man of the match for his defensive nous and being in the right place at the right time. Scotland free kick then. Tierney just chatting to the referee as Strager 2. Robertson there with his free kick. Can Scotland at least force a consolation towards the end? Simon Kerr, our player of the match, sponsored by Commentary Services. Here's the free kick from Robertson. In it goes towards Hanley. Knocked away. They get a corner out of that one, Scotland. A minute to go. Can they at least get one back and take a huge positive from that? It was Liam Cooper coming in at the far post there, trying to head it goal bound. Scotland's 4th corner of the match. Last seconds now. Can they force a goal back? It's a deeper corner this time. Cooper's in there, but the whistle's gone for some pushing. But Simon Kerr, and he's our man of the match. He's had a good game. They're going to bring on Lindstrom now for the remaining seconds that remain here in Copenhagen. Just to remind you, player of the match is Simon Kerr, the captain. So Lindstrom replaces Damsgaard for the remaining seconds that remain. I'll get my teeth in at some point, but not been a spectacular Danish performance, but it's been more than good enough. It's been more than good enough for all the latest scores, incidentally, from all the qualifiers tonight. England play tomorrow, incidentally. And we'll see how they get on tomorrow, of course. But for Scotland, we've played well over the 3 minutes. I think our Romanian referee is now adding a bit more time on it. I think practically for the substitutions at least. Fraser's got the ball. I think they've just got time for this throw. Referee with whistle in his mouth and does blow the full-time whistle, or he's about to. I thought he was going to blow it for a second, but now he does. Final whistle is gone. It's been a tough night for Scotland in more ways than one. 2 goals in the space of a minute in the opening quarter of an hour sealed their fate tonight. The first one coming from Daniel Vass after a left-hand side cross from Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. And then a 1-2 with Damsgaard led to Miles scoring the second one. A nice little side of the right foot into the back of the net. Scotland really gave it their all. Gilmore came close. Fraser tested Schmeichel. There were opportunities there. Lyndon Dykes caused a few problems. But Simon Kerr, our player of the match, certainly repelled anything that Scotland threw at him. And then when Kasper Schmeichel was called upon, he did his job competently, as I knew he would. So Denmark's purple patch continues. They're showing the European Championships form. Okay, it wasn't spectacular tonight, but they showed why they're still a quality side. They play as a side, they play as a team, and there's no doubt about it. They are going to top this group now. They move to 12 points. Scotland stay on 5. So any chance of Scotland getting through as automatic qualifiers may have fallen by the wayside, but they're still in with a chance of getting a playoff berth. Despite this defeat, they've got 2 winnable games to come. Get 6 points from those. Then the memories of tonight will certainly be banished. But it's not a good night for Scotland. As we finish the commentary here, there's been an 8 equaliser in the game against Portugal, and it's heartbreak, I'm afraid. Ronaldo's made up for his penalty miss. It's 1-1 there in that game between Portugal and the Republic in the Algarve, not the Aviva Stadium, but I'm afraid it's sad news here in Copenhagen tonight. Alternate commentary on the TC Hub and JB Sports, JDAT Football, Storm FM and CC Hub 2. That I'm sad to report, unfortunately, it's not been Scotland's night. They've been beaten by Denmark by 2-0. Back to Russ.
Thank you very much there, JB. And the game is coming up towards a conclusion where Cristiano Ronaldo scored in the 89th minute for Portugal, just coming up towards the final 30 seconds, last 30 seconds or so. Republic of Ireland almost getting a famous victory and a shock victory over Portugal in the Algarve, but Portugal hit back through Cristiano Ronaldo, as JB said, missed a penalty in the first half. I'm just going to finish watching the closing stages, and he's coming forward over on the far side for Portugal. Ronaldo's inside the box, but he's come all the way across to this left-hand side. 5 minutes of stoppage time was signalled. 5 minutes have been played. The game is still going ahead because there was a VAR review for a possible penalty to Portugal. Nothing given. Portugal on that right-hand side, low-driven cross in. Now an eyeball in. And Ronaldo! Cristiano Ronaldo scored again. Cristiano Ronaldo scored 2 goals, 89th minute, and then the 96th minute to win this game for Portugal against Republic of Ireland, and it'll be heartbreak for Republic of Ireland, led for so long after that first half goal from John Egan of Sheffield United, but Cristiano Ronaldo marks his return to Manchester United with 2 goals for Portugal as they turn the game around to win by 2-1. Lovely cross in and a lovely header. The header that he planted was in the same area and the same end to where it went. Ronaldo holds up the shirt with Ronaldo 7 on the back of his Portuguese shirt. Now he will put the shirt back on, and then this referee will give him a yellow card for taking off the shirt, which now means Ronaldo will miss the next game for Portugal. Some of the other results are just coming through as well. I'll just wait for the conclusion of this game, and then I'll bring you the other results, which I'll put across the bottom of the screen in a second. Just watching the last few minutes was superb header from Cristiano Ronaldo to break Ireland's hearts, and that, without a shadow of a doubt, will see Portugal win, and it does. Portugal have won by 2-1 against the Republic of Ireland, with Cristiano Ronaldo getting the other goal. So I'll run you through all the scores from the other matches taking place tonight. Cristiano Ronaldo has now scored 111 goals for Portugal. He is the all-time men's international top goal scorer for Portugal, and we'll get JB's thoughts on that in a second. But I'll just run you through some of the other results in the international friendlies. He finished Finland 0, Wales 0, Qatar 0, Serbia 4, Switzerland 2, Greece 1. In the World Cup qualifiers for the European stage, finished Kazakhstan 2, Ukraine 2, Denmark 2, Scotland 0, Faroe Islands 0, Israel 4, France 1, Bosnia 1, Latvia 3, Gibraltar 1, Luxembourg 2, Azerbaijan 1, Malta 3, Cyprus 0. Latest score sees Moldova trail by a goal to 0 to Austria. That is still being played right now. We'll just be on till that finishes around about 10 o'clock this evening. Norway 1, Netherlands 1. As I've just mentioned, Portugal 2, Republic of Ireland 1. Cristiano Ronaldo 2 late goals in that one to become Portugal all-time record goal scorer in the men's. Also, he finished Slovenia 1, Slovakia 1, Russia 0, Croatia 0, and Turkey 2, Montenegro 2 in the African World Cup qualifiers. The results that I've got are Central African Republic 1, Cape Verde Islands 1, Guinea-Bissau 1, Guinea 1, Senegal 2, Togo 0. It's still 1-0 to Egypt against Angola, as it was at half time. Libya are taking on Gabon, and it's still 1-1 in that game, coming up towards the final 4 minutes of that match, as it was when I mentioned to you at half time what the latest score was in that game, because that kicked off at 8 o'clock, and it's still 1-0 to Mali against Rwanda. That's got around about 5 minutes to go in that one. We'll bring you the thoughts from JB in a moment on some of the deadline days and some of the results in his overall thoughts on the Scotland game in a moment. But while we wait for the result of Moldova versus Austria to come through, and we can fetch JB in now if you can still hear me, JB. Are you there, JB?
Yes, I am here, Russ.
Well, Cristiano Ronaldo, JB, has tonight become Portugal's all-time record goal scorer with 111 goals. How good is he? And how good do you think he'll be back in the Premier League with his move to Manchester United confirmed officially yesterday?
I'll tell you what, it'll be good for us covering him. I'll tell you that. It'll be a pleasure doing it for us and for us at the commentary hub doing that. It's a big coup for the Premier League. Whether he could do it to the same levels as before at Manchester United, that remains to be seen. But his numbers are still there, of course. Top scorer in Serie A last season, won 5 trophies with Juventus. All right, he didn't win the big one, the European Champions League, but he's still a class act. I think even at 36, he's got a lot to give. His fitness is still awesome. And Manchester United right now, could be dark horses for the title. I mean, we're all saying that they'll finish top 4, but with Ronaldo now, you wouldn't put it past them putting a championship challenge. It's whether it all depends on whether Solskjaer can really integrate him well into the squad that he's got. Because let's face it, when Ronaldo left, Ferguson was still in charge, and it was a much different squad then. Now he's returned. He's got a different squad of players. Ferguson's been gone in 7 years. It remains to be seen, but it's going to bring excitement to the Premier League. And I've got to be honest. Tonight's performance from the Republic, it sounds as if they put up a gallant fight, and it's heartbreaking for them. But when you've got a player like Ronaldo who can just get over missing a penalty and still score 2 goals in the last few minutes, it still proves that he's got quality.
Indeed, it does there, JB, and I forgot myself for a moment there, JB, and I forgot that to put the microphone and I wasn't speaking on mute, and I started to speak, and then I realised I had my microphone on mute, so they couldn't hear me. we all do bloopers here on the channel, but just looking at Scotland's game overall, JB, how big a shock was that performance from Scotland for you compared to how well they did in the Euros, especially against England?
To be quite honest with you, the first half was shocking. I have to say, though, I mentioned it a couple of times during the second half, they had a go. But also, I think what people need to realise is they only came to that game, as we all know, with 16 outfield players, because obviously COVID has hit a bit of the squad, especially John McGinn. There's a few knocks here and there. And they'll get those players back for the Moldova game. But I think really that first half really cost them because, I mean, let's face it. I mean, Denmark, they are a class side. And as I said in commentary, if they play to the standards they played in that first half tonight, I can actually see them going deep if they qualify for the World Cup. They should do now with 12 points already collected from their opening games. I think they could go deep into the tournament, and I think they could hold their own against the Brazils and the Argentinians of this world. I really do think that they're a good side, and they play with real togetherness for us. And I think that's what I love about the Danes at the moment. The Scots, I mean, they had a goal second half. Billy Gilmore was at the catalyst for some of it. If he scores and Brian Fraser scores later on, then and they get a 2-2 out of it, then that would have been a great result for Scotland. But it was always going to be a tough night, and they were handicapped because of the injuries and the COVID losses, and that was a disappointment, really. I think that will be a bigger disappointment, really. But they gave it a go second half, and I think, Steve, if there's any positives to take out of tonight for Scotland, it's the fact that they had a go in the second half and didn't really disgrace themselves as much as they did in the first.
Yes, and now we're going to touch on the Hungary against England preview, which is taking place tomorrow, JB. And listen to a bit of Southgate's press conference earlier this lunchtime, and he was saying the only doubt for the match tomorrow is Jadon Sancho's picked up a bit of a knock in that, and also in the last couple of days, Dominic Calvert-Lewin has withdrawn from the squad due to a broken toe and a thigh injury as well. We're just looking ahead to England's game tomorrow with two recognised strikers in the England squad now in Harry Kane and of course Leeds United's Patrick Bamford, who played very well against your team Burnley.
Yes,
Preston
and
really, really
deserved
well.
and deserved to score, by the way, in that game as well.
Yes, and how do you think? Do you think Bamford could make his England debut in this? And how do you think England will approach this game tomorrow in Hungary, where there's going to be where there's going to be a capacity crowd of I think around about 60,000 Hungarian supporters in the stadium, but no English fans due to COVID restrictions. JB.
It will be hard because, of course, the crowds when you go away from home in these qualifiers are pretty hostile. It wasn't quite like that in Denmark tonight because you look at the Danish crowd compared to the Hungary crowd, and the Denmark crowd, you've seen them with beers and they're smiling and they're dancing and they're clapping. That's not hostile. That's just them enjoying themselves. It will be difficult because England are a big scalp, but I do expect England. I know they've got their injury worries, Bamford and Kane, the only two recognised strikers, you say, but they've got a very good midfield outlet there. They've got a decent. They've got decent. They've got a very good midfield, minus Jadon Sancho, of course. They've got Grealish and Foden and people like that who are coming into good form for their club sides. Kane, now with all that uncertainty about his future now sorted and nipped in the bud now, for the time being, can concentrate on this game. He's back in form, certainly in the latter stage of the Euros. I don't think it'll phase him too much. I would expect England to get a win. I don't think they'll win. I don't think they'll win handsomely, but I think if they get just a scrappy 2-0 or something like that, it's away from home. It will be tough. A 2-0 victory would be a nice little result, really. But England should be professional enough to get the job done, even in the most hostile of Hungarian crowds.
Yes, and just to remind people of the England squad, which was announced just the other day on the 26th of August, the England squad in full is Sam Johnston, Jordan Pickford and Nick Pope, the three goalkeepers, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Connor Cody, Reece James, Aaron Maguire, Tyrone Mings, Luke Shaw, John Stones, Kieran Trippier, Kyle Walker, Jude Bellingham, Jordan Henderson, Jesse Lingard, Mason Mount, Calvin Phillips, Declan Rice, midfielders. And then up front, we've got Patrick Bamford, Harry Kane, Jack Grealish, Bukayo Saka, Jadon Sancho, and Raheem Sterling. That's, of course, with Dominic Calvert-Lewin's withdrawal through injury. And another line which came out of England yesterday, JB, I don't know if you've seen this at all, yes,
I don't think
which
I
was
have,
announced
no.
yesterday. Well, it was announced last night at around about, I think it was around about 10 past 10 last night, JB, the England BT's Men's Player of the Year award. And the winner was Leeds United's Calvin Phillips, and to say he's only been in the England squad since September
Mm.
2020, and to get that award last night, how good of performances do you think he's putting in the England squad, especially in the Summer Euros as well?
Oh, it's been immense. I mean, I've said it twice. I said it throughout the tournament. I think he's grown into it as it's gone on. I think it was immense. Okay, we criticised the fact that they shouldn't have played. I mean, I did criticise him after the first game, thinking that I thought Declan Rice would be more suited to that defensive midfield role. But he proved me wrong, and I was glad he proved me wrong because he had an immense tournament after that first game. He's been absolutely boltless, really. I mean, he's a guy. I mean, I've commentated on him a few times for Leeds in the last sort of 12 months or so, and every time I've commentated on him, he's always put in a very consistent performance, either it's in an England shirt, white shirt of England, or the white shirt of Leeds. He has been an amazing guy, a Leeds man through and through. So you know you'll get passion from him. Um, you know, anybody that puts on the white shirt of Leeds, as you well know, Russ, has to show a fair amount of passion, and obviously, he's a real proper midfielder. Throwback to the olden days of Brandner and Charlton and Gray and Clark and Giles and people like that. I think he'd hold his own in that Leeds side in the late 60s, early 70s. But his performances, though, for the last 12 months, actually, have been consistent. He's been Mr. Reliable. And, you can't give him any better compliment than that. And I'm not really surprised in the least that he's got the England Player of the Year, because I think he's been smashing the last sort of 12 months, and fairly merits the award.
Yes, and in total, JB, how many people do you think voted in total, which won, and then voted who gave to earn Calvin get that award? How many people do you think voted in the Men's Player of the Year award?
I've no idea. I don't know the voting system for a start, but you can tell me.
40,000 people voted, and when he was
40,000.
yes, and when he was told how many people voted in the poll to say that he should win it, when he was told by Declan Rice, his midfield partner for England, Calvin Phillips turned around and said, probably Leeds fans, because when there's a poll like that with Leeds fans involved, Leeds fans share it out on social media, tell people to vote for the Leeds player involved. They share it out all over social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and then whoever's in there from Leeds always ends up seeming to win the vote. And Calvin Phillips won the vote, and Calvin Phillips said probably be the the Leeds fans amongst them who voted for them. And just what coming up towards the end of the match between Moldova and Austria, for the people listening and for you there as well, JB. Currently 1-0 to Austria against Moldova into the final few minutes now, and Marko Arnautovic is just trying to play through a through ball to Erkan Karar, who is caught offside. It's Christoph Baumgartner who got the goal for Austria incidentally. That's coming up towards the end of that match. Right now, we'll stay with you until that result comes through, or I will anyway. But those are just some of that's just the latest in that one, just to let people know. And JB, with that England squad which I mentioned earlier, obviously in there's Nick Pope of Burnley in there, along with Jordan Pickford and Sam Johnston. Out of the three goalkeepers in there, JB, obviously we know that it's going to be the star. Is going to be Jordan Pickford, who's going to be starting
I would agree with that.
for England. But do you think that Burnley's Nick Pope should be starting, or do you think that it should be Pickford who should be number one from the people in the squad? And tear your Burnley hat off when you answer this
Well,
question.
yeah, I'll be very dispassionate about this. Yes, I would still give it Pickford because I mean I've got to judge it on the European Championships. Of course, Pope wasn't involved, obviously due to he had surgery during the tournament, so he didn't play any part. Otherwise, I think he would have been number one. But give Pickford his fair dues. I think he's been in good form for Everton at the start of the season. He's not played too badly. He hasn't made many mistakes so far this season for Everton. I think he's got the right manager at the moment, Pickford, in Rafa Benitez. I think when you've got a good coach around you. Same with Pope with Sean Dyche. You improve as a goalkeeper, and I think Pickford, under the previous two Everton managers, hasn't had that love, and I think that's what Rafa gives to a football club. Rafa Benitez. I think Pickford will improve. I mean, he had a super Euros, got Golden Glove. Let's not forget. And I think on the merit and on the current form, he just shades it over Pope. But Pope will push him close during the season. But at the moment, I think it's Pickford's jersey for me.
That's the thoughts of JB, who has been our commentator tonight, and the resident Burnley fan. But just a bit of news which broke earlier on this afternoon, just while we were getting prepared to do this broadcast this evening after I had a bit of technical problems earlier. News came through that former Rotherham United midfielder who had recently been playing for Crewe Alexandria was on the bench against Leeds United in their Carabao Cup match at Ellen Road. Sean McDonald announced his retirement from professional football earlier. There's no news on why Sean McDonald has decided to hung up his boots at the moment. Been trying to find out from on his social media, on his Twitter, on his Instagram, as to why he's retired, but there's been no news on why he's retired yet. But that news came out a little bit earlier. I meant to mention it at half time. But in JB, I'm just been looking through with regards to Cristiano Ronaldo with his goals throughout his international career, and this has been a World Cup qualifier tonight for Portugal. How many goals do you think Cristiano Ronaldo, out of his 111 in total, how many goals do you think Ronaldo has scored in the World Cup qualifiers?
Probably about 50. I mean, when you take in I'd say 50 because when you look at the finals that he's played in, and then you've got the Euro qualifiers as well on top of that, I'd say at least half his goals have come in these qualifiers. I think,
Where
but I might
he scored 33 goals in
33.
World Cup qualifiers,
Yes, 33.
31 in European Championship qualifiers,
Right, yeah.
19 in international friendlies,
Yes, the friendlies.
14 in the European Championships themselves,
Yeah, and that's over 3 or 4 tournaments, or 5 or 6 tournaments he's been at.
7 goals in the World Cup, in
Hmm.
World Cup match in the entirety of the World Cup in matches he's been involved in.
The
5
finals, that is. Yeah.
World Cup finals, that is. 5 goals in the UEFA Nations League,
Yes, the Nations League.
and he scored 2 goals in the Confederations Cup.
That's actually quite a good statistic. It's something I wouldn't have come out with. I'm not really sure. I'm just one that I'm one of these guys that just likes to entertain. I don't like to. I don't throw out too many stats. I'm not like Motti. I'm not like Motti like you are. You're like sort of the mini Motti. I'm sort of like the Barry Davis who's sort of calm and considered and just tries to let the game breathe. But I'm going to, and also you like Mark Lawrenson these days with your predictions and that. But yeah, it's a good statistic you come out with there, Russ. But Ronaldo has always been a class act ever since his early days when he was playing at Sporting Portugal. So, he's him, and I've got to be honest. You can also, people say that Ronaldo and Messi haven't done it much at international level, but they've won a cup. Messi's won a Copa America this summer, and Ronaldo's won a Euros 5 years ago. So they both won. They both won something big now at international level. You can actually put them in at least the top 7 or 8 of the best players ever to play the game, and I put them in a company of like Pele, Maradona through gritted teeth, George Best, Johan Cruyff, people like that, because, you will never see two players that have kept up huge standards ever again. Two players that have been at the top of the game for over 16 years. And I think when you look at that logically, you know, so in a generation you'll see one player, but we've been lucky, Russ, you and I, because and most of our commentary hub colleagues, because we've seen two unbelievable players for the last decade or more ripping it up around Europe, scoring lots of goals. Messi scored 800 goals in his career. Ronaldo's scored just as much as that. And we'll never see two players like that ever again. I'm telling you now. We have been very privileged, you and I, over the last sort of decade or more, to see two great players ripping it up. And I'm going to finish with this, Russ. I, for one, cannot wait to see Ronaldo play in the Premier League. Unless it's against Burnley and he tries to win a penalty by conning the ref. But
Yeah.
no, but seriously, I think it's going to be a boost for Premier League football to see Ronaldo back in Manchester United's colours. I think it's a great coup for Man United, but the Premier League now is going to be enhanced that bit more. And I think we might have more of a title race than you might think. I think now, I'm going to put my neck on the line. I think we could have a four-way title race now. I think it'll still be Man City, United, Man United, Liverpool and Chelsea. And I think all four of them now are capable of challenging for the title. I'm going to put it out there now. So that's my final thoughts on the whole thing. But what a coup back for the Premier League and for Manchester United.
Yes, and Moldova have lost by 2-0, JB, in the World Cup qualifier against Austria. Marko Arnautovic, remember him?
Yes,
Ex-West
I
Ham.
do.
He scored the second in the 94th minute, assisted by David Alaba, who's joining Real Madrid. In the other matches, in the African side of the draw, it finished Egypt 1, Angola 0, Mali 1, Rwanda 0, and it also finished Libya 2, Gabon 1. Libya scored in the 89th minute to win that game against Gabon, to being level since the 28th minute. Gabon took the lead off after just 11 minutes, but those are just the results that have just come in, which we were waiting for to come in. So but just to round up then, Denmark too strong in the end for Scotland. 2 quick goals in the first half. Scotland better fight in the second. Got one WSL match coming up on Saturday, which is confirmed, which is Everton against Manchester City from the Women's Super League, with JB
Are we
doing
doing it?
that match for us. We may have one on Friday or may have one on Sunday. Not decided that yet. Stay tuned to the socials. Twitter, a Commentary Live 1. Facebook, www.facebook.com/the Commentary Hub, to find out if we're going live on Friday. But from myself and JB, thank you very much for listening to this international coverage. World Cup qualifier as Denmark. 2 quick goals were enough to beat Scotland. Denmark 2, Scotland 0 from our feature match tonight. Hope you enjoyed our little chat at the end. Well, from all of us here, take care, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Goodbye, guys.